Would you please give a warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Debbie Lee.
It is an honor to be here tonight. As we look at the poster that's here, it says freedom is not free. And the Jeffers family know that very well. They've given their very best for this nation, their son. I think back to 9/11. My oldest son, Christopher, was serving in the Marines. My son-in-law, Christopher, was in the Army. Mark was in the Navy, and my brother was in the Air Force. He's leaving this week for 7th deployment to Afghanistan. I love every branch of the military, and I have dedicated my life to making sure that our men and women in the military know that they're loved, that they're appreciated, that their families are taken care of, and especially that the Gold Star families are also taken care of. I remember that conversation that Buzz and I had on the tour bus. We were doing a cross-country tour. Was it a holiday one?
It was before you all went to Iraq.
So it was honoring the heroes of the holidays. We tried to do that every Christmas. And we were collecting Christmas cards, and as we were on the bus packaging and stopping at the post office and sending those off, Buzz had told me about the Jeffers, and about Eddie, and about his Hope Rides Alone. And I said, you know, I have so much compassion and understanding for the Gold Star families and what they've sacrificed, and I said, you know, please pass on my information. And I was privileged to be able to speak with them. Little did I know that our paths would ever cross, but like I said, we had done a cross-country tour, and we were able to meet them. And I'm very blessed to know them, and I love the relationship that they have with the Lord and their faith, how strong that is. But I had no idea on 9/11. I could see the handwriting on the wall. I knew there was a war ahead, and I knew it was going to be a very personal war. I just didn't understand what a big price our family would be paying for our freedoms. And I remember the night that we received notification that Mark had died. I was at my small group at our Bible study, and we'd actually been celebrating my birthday. My birthday was the week before, but we weren't able to get together. And after we had our Bible study time, we brought out a cake, and we're singing and doing the whole routine. And my girlfriend gave me a willow tree statue. How many familiar know what the willow trees are? And there's one that's called Courage. And she gave it to me, and she said, "You remind me of such a woman of courage." Little did we know that 30 minutes from then, I would need more courage than you could ever imagine that you would need. And as we were, typically I always turn my cell phone off, and I left it on that night. And I know, again, that was God's divine intervention. And my son Christopher called and said, "Hey Mom, where are you?" No concern, no fear, nothing in his voice, didn't pick up on anything different. And I said, "I'm at small group. Why? What's up? How long will it take you to get home?" "I don't know, 5 minutes, 7 minutes? Why? What's up?" And he said, "You just need to come home." I knew when Mark was at my house before he deployed, when he left, I knew he wasn't coming home. I'm not a worrier, I'm not a fretter. I did not watch every day when a black car went by wondering if that was the military coming to notify me. I didn't panic if there was a strange knock on the door. I knew he was in God's hands, and I knew I was too. But as I drove from Bible study home, there was a song from my past that said, "I put my hope in you, O Lord, trusting you, I will not be shaken. Knowing that you will see me through, I put my hope in you." And I sang that song over and over and over and over. And I got to the main intersection that was close to my house, and there must have been 5 fire trucks and 4 police cars and ambulances, and it was unreal the amount of emergency vehicles that were there. I thought, oh, it's just my house. My house blew up, that's all that's wrong. But knowing what faced me ahead, that seemed like a really good option. As I pulled into my subdivision, there were no other emergency vehicles. And so I knew my hunch was wrong there. As I got close to the corner of my home, I expected to turn the corner and see a black car parked there. And as I turned the corner, there wasn't a black car. There weren't any other vehicles. I guess I'd watched too many movies on TV. But I saw my son. He was just pacing on the sidewalk. And I parked the wrong side on the street, got out. He said, "Mom, the Navy's here. And if you have children serving in the military, you know when they show up, it's the worst news that you could hear. And I fell on his shoulder and I started to cry. And we walked into the house, and the chaplain and the other Navy officer were already in there. And they said, we've been in your home for a few minutes, and we can tell by looking at your home that you're a woman of faith. But you're going to need to require to use that faith in the next few minutes, because your son, Mark Allen Lake, has been killed in action. And as a parent, that is the most piercing words that you can ever hear. And I remember crying and trying to process the information, and sat down on the couch with the officers, and as I'm sitting there crying, I can look out through my window, and I see my small group was following me. And some of my neighbors had started to gather, and I couldn't understand why they were out there and not inside with me, but one of the neighbors thought that they should leave me alone with the Navy. So I motioned in, they came in, and we cried together, and we prayed together, and talked about what had happened, talked about Mark's bravery, cried some more, prayed some more. And they probably stayed till, I don't know, about 1 o'clock in the morning. My oldest son, Christopher, his wife was in Japan visiting family, so he decided to spend the night at the house, and he went in to try to go to sleep. I knew where my strength was going to come from. God had proved himself so faithful in my life over and over and over again. I knew this was going to be the toughest days of my life. I knew there were sharp turns and hills ahead, but I knew he was going to give me the faith and strength to get through. And I went to my Bible, and I opened it up. I'm not one of those people that says, just let your Bible flop open and that's what God's speaking to you. But that's what happened that night. I opened my Bible, and it opened to Psalms 27. And I began to read, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked came against me to eat up my flesh, my enemies and my foes, I stumbled and fell. Though an army may encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war may rise against me, in this I will be confident. One thing I desired of the Lord, that will I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. For in the time of trouble, he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret place of his tabernacle, he shall hide me. He shall set me high up on a rock, and now my head shall be lifted up above my enemies all around me. Therefore, I will offer sacrifices of joy. I will sing, yes, I will sing praises to the Lord. Hear, O Lord, when I cry with my voice. Have mercy on me. Sorry. Have mercy also upon me and answer me. When you said, seek my face, my heart said to you, Lord, your face I will seek. Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn your servant away in anger, for you have been my help. Do not leave me or forsake me, O God of my salvation. When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take care of me. Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me in a smooth path because of my enemies. Do not deliver me to the will of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, and such as breathe out violence. I would have lost heart if I had not believed I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and he will strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. And I finished that second to last verse, and I've never audibly heard God speak, but in my thoughts he said, I want you to read this at Mark's funeral. I buried a husband 16 years before. I knew what funerals were like. I knew I'd be crying. But this was my son. I didn't know if I'd pass out. I didn't know if I'd throw up. I didn't know how I would react. And I said, God, I will walk through whatever doors you open by your strength. I thought that just meant the funeral. I thought he just wanted me to share this at the funeral. I had no idea the doors that God was going to open and where he would place me. I was telling someone earlier, I think there's a briefing every morning in heaven, and God and Mark get together. And they figure out where they're going to put me, who I can encourage, who can encourage me. And as I finished reading that, the stories began to develop that night. And I got phone calls from Iraq from Mark's buddies. And the first thing that came to my mind was John 15:13. Greater love hasn't no one than this than to lay down their life for their friends.